All right. Hello, everybody. It is the 26th of February. Amazing. So thrilled with the fact that you are all here. Thank you, Father, for every intercessor. Thank you for every person that prays and is standing. And Lord, I just again pray blessings on everyone and thank you, Father, for what you're doing. So we want to just get our eyes on you. I was just sensing the Lord speaking about how the thread of our lives, how we're living day by day, and yet, just to get this bigger view or bird's eye view, if you will, a really heavenly view of how the Lord has led us, how the Lord has led your life. That movie, It's a Wonderful Life, kind of points that out, says, wow, you made a difference. You made a difference that you might have known that you made a difference. And I just kind of felt like God was speaking to me about that this morning, about how there's this thread of our lives that He has orchestrated. It's not by chance, that you were where you were, or you were raised where you were, or you encountered this or that or whatever. It is God. And so, Ayelet would know this person, but I'm thinking of how in Hawaii a couple weeks ago when I was there for my daughter who was giving birth to her baby, but I walk into a Hawaii coffee shop at the same time that this couple park right next to me. They stare at me and I stare at them. And I could see in their face, they're like, I think I know this woman. And I was looking at them, I think I know this couple. And we go into a Hawaii coffee shop, and isn't it Asher and Trader and his wife from Israel, and I'm from Kansas City, that we meet in a random coffee shop in Hawaii. And it's just led to this, incredible dialogue that we've been having and meeting that we had. And I don't know, I just think, God, I love the way that you thread our life. So anyways, I don't know why I'm sensing to say that, but I just want to bless you guys. If your life is thread with this intercessory call for Israel, and it's beautiful. And I think that God has orchestrated it. So that's my little speech. Um, Lord, thank you for Ayelet. Ayelet is in Yad Shemana. I'm going to put in the chat again what Yad Shemana is in case you don't know, but it is such a beautiful piece of heaven on earth. And it is the moshav that's just outside of Jerusalem, really 6 miles outside of Jerusalem. That is a beautiful place where there are many, many families, believer families that live together, but there's a beautiful hotel and restaurants and biblical gardens and even educational center. And her dad, Aryeh Bar-David, was such a big part of really helping to develop it. He's also a carpenter amongst many other things that he does. But anyways, that's a little bit about what Ayelet helps to keep it running, by the way. So Ayelet, please share with us all things prayer for us to be praying into. I'm wondering what it's like for you all, just, thinking, is America going to strike Iran or not? And then your kids in the IDF. Over to you, friend. Thanks so much.
Okay, so can you hear me, first of
Yes, I
all?
can
Okay,
hear
good.
you.
Okay, good. So first of all, happy Purim. Next week we will celebrate the Feast of Purim in Israel all over. So if you know the Feast of Purim is based on the book of Esther, and the children wear costumes, and there is a big celebration in the schools, and they bring each other gifts and share the story of how we really triumphed by God's help and mercy and grace and miracle over the Persians from all people. So it's kind of interesting. Everybody's talking about it, how amazingly relevant the story is today, that we have the Persian Empire in a book written, I don't know, how long was that? 4,000, 3,000 years ago, same empire, still an empire, really. In the Muslim world, Iran is an empire, controlling so much of the proxies against Israel everywhere. And the story is relevant. And then you have small Israel with very small amount of people, very few citizens compared to Iran and the proxies. And God is just preserving this country. And we tell the children when they choose costumes for Purim, we all the time tell them, look with bigger eyes, look with biblical eyes and at what we're facing. Right now, as we speak, actually, the American delegation is speaking with the Iranian and all the rest about the points that America is demanding from Iran. So America has a list of demands, and I am reading, every day we go through our news channel to see, and from what we see, the Iranians are unwilling to hand over the nuclear program, including the uranium and all that. So Israel is hoping that America will really stand on that and not back down from this principle, because the whole thing is about the nuclear weapon and nuclear abilities and all that. If it's true, if America will not back down, we're facing a war very soon, or at least a strike. And I have to tell you, a few days ago, somebody from Yad HaShmona took a picture from the Yad HaShmona Biblical Gardens synagogue facing the Mediterranean Sea, and we could see the big, I don't know how you call it, the big, huge ship of the American, it's the number one ship in the world of, how do you call them, airplane carriers, fighter jets carrier. It's a huge thing. We saw it from Yad HaShmona coming into the Mediterranean area.
That's the Ford that Gerald Ford is the largest.
Yes, exactly. So we saw it crossing the Mediterranean, and it's just so striking when you think about it. It's like we see the boats of America, and people are saying, wow, we're really facing another war, but probably, how do you call it? An attack of some sort. So Israelis are on one hand afraid of it, on the other hand, hoping very much for the situation to come to a resolve and hopefully, the regime falling down. And I said that in the past, Israelis love the Iranians. Many people in Israel follow the medias, the social medias of Iran. There is a lot of connection already between Israelis and Iranians that are waiting for this thing to come down. We're absolutely not enemies. It's going to be the other way around. Once the Ayatollahs will fall down, we have no doubt there will be a very special connection between Iran and Israel. And as it was, 30 something years ago, Israel had a very strong connection with Iran, more than 30, sorry. And in our Keilah, we have an Iranian woman, a Persian Jew, and she listens and talks and hears what they say and excited. And all the time she says, there's no way, America and Israel must free the people. We must do something to free the people. And I think if Trump, but if Netanyahu will be able to join Trump and do something, it's going to be an historical change. So that's a big thing. And we're waiting for it because it's a matter of days and we will know if there's something happening or not. Wow. At the same time, it's important for me to emphasize that because of this kind of in the middle situation where all Israelis are waiting for a strike, it's a big blow to tourism. Many groups canceled, air companies, a few of them canceled. So hotels, restaurants, all these things are doing really bad. And it's been already a difficult period of 2 years. So it's something that we feel in the economy of Israel. So in a way, if the strike will happen and things will be able to go back to normal, it will affect everybody's life. I can tell you, even in Yad HaShmona, relatives of mine and the people who are working in the industry, everything is shut for now because tourism from the outside is not coming. And it's been like that for a very long time. It's something that we really pray for a change. Small other things, I've been to Finland for 10 days, touring the people that founded Yad HaShmona and the friends of Yad HaShmona. I had a wonderful time speaking in churches. And in America, there is a much bigger base of Christians who love Israel. And that base is shrinking, no doubt. In Scandinavia, in Europe, it's a very small base. And you can see how really terrified people are from the change. I mean, the world is turning against Israel massively. And I was very happy to see, it was very interesting. On the same day almost, I think Trump said a day ago, I think, in one of the big events in America, he said America will do everything in its power to defend America. Netanyahu, almost at the same time, said to the UN delegation, there was a big UN delegation in Israel, they're still in Israel, and he said the same thing. He said Israel will never compromise its safety. Safety first. So if you think we're going to play with Israel's safety, you're wrong. He said it very nicely, of course. But I think it's really important for those two major, massive, big leaders to stick to the message that the home country comes first and the enemies want to defeat and want to destroy. It's very clear. So that's really important. Um, some other things, there is a bit of a tension again in Gaza. Again, we had some people from Yad HaShmona going to serve in the Miluim, in the reserve duty down south. There was a difficult case of a young man dying in friendly fire, and very good friend of some of the young people in Yad HaShmona, not a believer, but you look at the young soldiers and they take it very hard when things like that happen. I mean, none of our people were involved, but just the fact that a young soldier dies from a mistake, it was a very, very sad case. And I just want to say one small other thing that's important, that the president of Israel, Yitzhak Herzog, he met with the prime minister of Ukraine. How do you say his name in English? Zelensky.
Yes.
Just a few days ago. And it's been 4 years in the war of Ukraine. And it was very special to see how personal their meeting was. Just, hugging each other and just the understanding of two very small countries, relatively, of course, to the oppressor. Ukraine being under the Russian attack for 4 full years, the war has been going on, and Israel against what's happening now in the world. And he just told him, we support you. Whatever we can do, we support you. And Israel is sending quite a lot of teams to Ukraine to help with wounded soldiers. So if it's it sounds like a small thing. We can't help them with weapon, not in our situation or combat, but the teams that are going to help those that are affected by war, people who are wounded, who have been, lost legs or limbs. Israel has a lot of experience with that and very advanced medical treatment, and trying as much as possible to help Ukraine. And I find that to be very, very personal. Many times we think that a war is something that's far away from us. I keep repeating it. I said it in Finland. The war this time is extremely personal to us, coming very close to home. And same thing for the Ukrainian people. So many of them are suffering on a personal basis from relatives and all that. So just to pray for them, and we're praying for them. So anything, if you want to ask me something, if you want to hear about something, let me know.
Ayelet, how did thank you for that. This is really, really good, really informative. It's awesome that you were in Finland. That is true. The Finnish people started Yad HaShmona
Yeah,
way back.
that's right.
Yeah, way back. You were doing some initiatives that we were praying into. I'm honestly trying to remember. There was a family thing, or how did that all go? How is it going?
You mean the Yad HaShmona initiatives?
Yes.
We are working on some things. I don't know if you mean the horse farm. There is something. We have a stable in Yad HaShmona.
Oh, okay.
It's called the King David Stable. For many years, they've been small, but now they're growing because they're dealing with a lot of people with post-traumatic syndrome from the war. And we
Okay.
are really trying to make this thing bigger, to help them make it nicer facility, something that can host the wounded and people who need this help. So that's something that's been going on. They already treat people, but in order to pass the government and the Ministry of Health regulation, we will have to do even more work. On a personal basis, our family, my brother-in-law, Kalev, was in the States, and he was involved and really the initiator of what he calls the first Christian Congress, Zionistic Congress. And I was waiting to hear from him and my sister Shelly, who's there, and we said we will meet and he will tell us. And Kalev became very sick at the airport with some inflammation of the arm that went all the way up. So they canceled his flight. He was hospitalized, and only this morning they landed in Israel. So I still didn't have a time to hear anything. He was in America for 3 days on a strong antibiotic in the hospital, and he's in Israel now. So next time I will meet you, I can share with you. But the only thing I know from my sister that it went very well. But Kalev had some hard time as far as it's a lot of pressure. It was tense. And there were Catholic Christians and evangelical Christians and all this thing. And she said, by all means, it had an effect on his health. So really to pray for him. An important step, but definitely, you many times in situations like that, when stress is released, you get weak, you get sick. So that's what happened to him. But he's involved and he's doing a lot of work.
Wow. I didn't actually know that. He's an amazing guy, a lawyer. He's done such a great work. And Shelley is an amazing worship leader as well,
That's
correct?
right.
Is your husband Daniel, he's still one of the lawyers or not one of the veterinarian in
Yes,
Israel?
my husband Daniel is a veterinary doctor from Purdue University. This is where I actually got my English. It's the last 3 years of vet school. I was with him in Indiana in Purdue University. I was
Oh,
studying there as well. I actually loved studying in Purdue. And Daniel is a well-known veterinarian all through our area.
yeah.
He has a clinic. He takes care not only of small animals, but horses, camels. There are a lot of Bedouins and even people all the way down to Jericho that he takes care of them. Goat farms, cows, everything.
Wow.
So he's a very active guy, and he's also part of the management of Yad Shmona.
Okay. And
Yeah,
then just curious about your children there and then Aryeh has other relatives or you do too in the IDF. Is it kind of quiet for them right now or is it on high alert like your daughter who's in the IAF? I'm assuming she's on high alert with all of that's
yeah,
going on with Iran.
exactly like you're saying. They're on alert, but they haven't been called.
Okay.
My son-in-law Oria is being called from the middle of March. He's going to have a 1 month reserve duty because he's an officer and he's going to be in Gaza. You have to understand Israel is not fighting in Gaza, but there are still all the time operations
Okay.
done to dismantle, to destroy the underground tunnels and weapons. And it's all by the support of America, and it's working well. It doesn't affect the civilian population. They're away from there, but there's all the time something. He's going to be there. My daughter, who's an officer in the Israeli Air Force, is going there every few days. She has a few hours on her duty, and at the same time, she's also a veterinary medicine student. So one of the
Oh, okay.
problems is that it affects their. We've seen it all through this time how they have to juggle military and studies or military and work, and these are not professional. Military is not their profession. In Israel, as I always tell people, everybody serves. So if you're
Yeah.
called, it doesn't matter who you are, you need to be away. But they're doing good. I see a lot of blessing on our family, on the extended family. Our son Jonathan, who's been serving and affected heavily from the war, he's actually planning to get married in the summer with his girlfriend. She's an Ethiopian believer, a Messianic Ethiopian believer. So we're very excited about that. And now we have a 20-year-old Batami in the military as well, in the IDF, doing her regular
Wow.
serving time of 2 years.
I mean,
So yeah, we all the time we have somebody there.
yeah. Two quick questions. Is someone is asking in the chat about is there a new your community center? And then also, how's the marriage situation in Israel or, the stress
Okay,
that on families?
I am so glad people are really keeping up with me if they know to ask about the community center. We don't have the funds. We have the beginning of the funds, but we are working and continuing with the plans and permits for a community center. Not a big thing, a small thing. In meters, it's about 200 meters. It's not big, but it's going to be used 100% all the time because we really need a place to allow youth and young people and soldiers to come together, to meet, which today we don't have. We do a lot of the things outside. We do it in bomb shelters. We need that space very much. So this is something we're praying God will supply the funds for that building. And totally believe he will. And those of you that are donating, and I know so many of you do that, also you, Patricia, just know that it will go. Some of it also goes to that fund, unless you're asked for a
Okay.
specific purpose, it will go. So you'll be able to come visit it in a few, hopefully, 2 years.
That's awesome. And everyone, I just want to mention that you can, if even if you speak to your churches and say, hey, you want a great place to plant a seed, a financial seed into Israel, here it is right here. So our church, Catch the Fire Kansas City, we donate regularly to Yad Shemana. And I would just say, it's a good thing to put maybe in your pastor's ear to give. This is, sometimes churches are looking for good soil in Israel. This is good, great soil. All right. Well,